Metanoia is a new and improved intervention for drug and alcohol addiction. Let's start on common ground. I'm going to begin with 3 examples. Number 1, many years ago we believed that only if we went to school and sat in the classroom, then only learning could take place. Number 2, we also believed in the past that only when you go to the office can you work on your computer. And then we advanced and we could take our computers home. Now we have hybrid work environments and hybrid models of school and education. Number 3, we always believed that only if you go to church or temple or mosque, etc., can you grow spiritually. Well, COVID-19 showed us otherwise. I can quote few other examples, but I think you already get the point. Now keep this point in mind and keep the point of these 3 examples in your mind, and we'll refer to it in a moment. Because of my background, because of my childhood experiences and education, whenever certain people hear that I am in a city or country, inevitably they will call me and ask me if I have 30 minutes to visit a rehab center and talk to the men and women and sometimes teenagers. Sometimes it takes me an hour to drive to the place and 30 minutes to gather everyone together, and then I get the chance to speak for 30 minutes. Thereafter, answer questions and then drive for another hour back to where I was supposed to be. I would use just over 3 hours, and every time I drove back, I always asked myself the question, was I really effective? Did I actually make a difference? There must be a better way. If you need me to convince you that drugs and alcohol is a problem, then you really don't live here. This is a global dilemma that religious organizations, rehab centers, and government and individual families are struggling with. Crime, poverty, teenage pregnancy, suicide, school dropout, all of these and much more can be traced to drug and alcohol addiction. And if we continue to address the symptoms, which we are currently doing, we won't find an effective intervention. I am yet to find a single family circle that is not affected by this dilemma, and that includes me and my family. There is a lot that is being done, but little is being accomplished. And I asked myself the question, why? Why are we not effective with the current intervention strategies? I can spend hours talking about this, but let me stick to just 3. There are many, but I will share just 3 from different perspectives. From the addict's point of view, number 1, almost everyone takes a jab at you when they know that you are addicted to something or even recovering from some addiction. So you cannot even recalibrate your life without someone undermining your attempt. People look at you as a problem to be solved or a problem to get rid of instead of a person with possibilities. There is a stigma that is attached to you that is hard to shake off. And because of the stigma, many avoid seeking help or even return for help if they relapse. Number 2, pride. You can call it foolish pride or an attempt to hold on to the last fragment of your individual dignity. But most people are resistant to the idea of going to a rehab center for many reasons. It seems like a prison sentence, and in many scenarios, it is so. Number 3, most rehab centers focus mainly on the spiritual side of a person. On this point, allow me to clarify. I am not against a spiritual intervention, but I am very much in favor of a more holistic approach. Let me tell you, I've met, and I'm sure you have too, we've met drug addicts and alcoholics who can quote the Bible better than some pastors. They learned to memorize these verses in the rehab centers, and yet they are still addicted. Just like there is the Bible in hotel rooms or the Quran in hotels of Arab countries, there are religious holy books in the cupboards or on the beds in most rehab centers, with very few exceptions. It seems like we are more bent on converting people than rehabilitating them. The starting point may be spiritual, but if we want to increase our chances of success, then we need to incorporate more than just the spiritual in the program of rehabilitation. And the reason for that is simply because we are composite beings. Again, please don't misunderstand me. In the next video, you will see how all of this makes sense. Number 4, going to a rehabilitation center is very expensive. There must be a more affordable and proactive way to help those who are addicted. Number 5, relapse. Relapse is a serious reality that we cannot deny. The success rate is very, very low, and yet we still do the same thing expecting a different result. Number 6, the interventions are usually extrinsic and not intrinsic. So it is actually a series of starting points instead of progress. Let me stop here. I said 3, but I mentioned 6, I know. The point is that there are many reasons why the current interventions are not as effective as we hope it to be. I am a solutions-driven person, and more than outcomes, I am more process-driven. If we improve the system or the process, then the outcomes will be a natural result of the process flow. Let's get to the point now. My daughter tells me that I should learn to speak in bullet points and not paragraphs. I am still learning. So let's ask the question, how do we help a person in their own space, at their own pace, where they are involved in the process without taking them to a rehab center as the first step? How do we do this? Is it even possible? Is it possible that a person can be rehabilitated without even being admitted in a rehab center? This is a very important question. And now is a good time to pause. Remember the first 3 examples I started with? Well, now is a good time to reflect on that. I believe that it is possible. I believe that it can be done. We've designed a disruptive, practical, innovative, radical, new and improved process that builds on the old, learns from the past interventions, and infuses a new way of thinking about rehabilitation. And we call it metanoia. M-E-T-A-N-O-I-A. I listened and I talked with many people to find a better way, and I believe that we found it. We researched, we studied, we investigated, and finally found a better way. Metanoia is that better way. And guess what? It is a hybrid process. It is both traditional and innovative at the same time from the very first session. It is a total of 30 interactive and fully engaging sessions. It is both personal and professional at the same time. Now, we are excited that metanoia can be facilitated in your space and at your pace, and addresses in a very proactive way the dilemmas that traditional interventions are struggling with. If we keep doing the same thing, the same way, we are going to get the same result, isn't it? So how about we try something different? If you've been watching to this point, it is an indication of few things. Firstly, you are affected in some way and wish things were different. Secondly, you are excited about progress and innovative ways to address old problems. Number 3, you believe, yes, you believe that there must be a better way. You believe that if there is a way that is more effective, then let's do it. And number 4, you respect people and their dignity, and while helping them, you wish there was a more proactive way that keeps their dignity and self-respect intact. Number 5, you want to know how to be part of metanoia. Number 6, you know that this is huge and it cannot be done by one person alone. You don't want to be just a passive observer, but you want to be a part, a significant part of metanoia. Come to think of it, you are in many ways like me, because that describes me as well. To give you a sneak peek into the first session, I am including the link to the next video right in this corner. Click on it and watch the first session. You will also learn a lot more, and not just about the program. I am confident that you will be as excited as I am to be the change that we wish to see in the world. I believe that we are the change we have been waiting for, and we have the opportunity to partner to really impact the world and the future of our children and society with metanoia. So please drop me an email or WhatsApp message, and I will send you a profile of the different ways that you can partner in metanoia. My contact details are in the description of this video. Together, we can do so much more in less time. So please take time to click on this link to watch the first session and have an exclusive first-hand experience of metanoia. My name is Paul Charles, and I am the author and lead facilitator of Metanoia, your first step, one-stop online rehab program that builds resilience from addiction.